welcome everybody to the Collider demo day in Barcelona Health Hub. I'm David Domingo, the ecosystem manager of the Collider, and we want to present here our portfolio of the startups in the health sector during the next 40 minutes. And for the people who doesn't know what is Collider, we're basically a bridge between the science and the market, the industry. The science, when I say the science, we are connected to the research centers and University of Spain and some part of Europe. And we try to get from them the best technologies who can be applied to problems and different situations on the market, on the industry. And on the other side, we have a really strong connection to the innovation ecosystem in the big corporations and the SMEs and other big clusters and corporations in the ecosystem who are the consumers or the final buyers of that technology created in the research centers and the university. But in the middle it's a big gap, or sometimes it's a big gap when and where some of the projects fail on doing this jump between the science and the market. And this is where we apply our methodologies and our knowledge and our experience to help them create startups and spin-offs which are solutions or a specific solution for the market and the industry. So this is basically what we do in 3 different areas. One area is training, which is that we train the universities and the research centers in entrepreneurship and in technology validation and product market fit, and a lot of different methodologies are usually applied in the innovation and startup ecosystem. So we try to teach them or we show them to the scientists and the universities so they can approach the industry and the market in a better way than just continue doing only science and applied science. On the other hand, we have the building part, which is basically we are going to build it. We create a startup from scratch, create a startup based on that science and the technology, and along with the market and the industry that we work close to create that opportunities and inform of us of a startup. So we are transferring this technology and the science to a market where a venture builder of tech transfer. And the last part is scaling this startup. We help as an incubator accelerator. We help them to connect the startup with the rest of the ecosystem and grow them until they arrive to the market and to the industry. So this is basically what we do in Collider. And in the last 4 years, we have these numbers that we have trained more than 150 scientists in different research centers in Catalonia and especially in Catalonia, but also Madrid and Valencia and some part of another regions of Spain. And then out of these research centers and universities, we have created the spin-offs. We have created these startups with our venture builder process. We have already created 14 spin-offs in the last 4 years. And between these spin-offs and all the capabilities we have been teaching to the scientists, we have created around 63 jobs, and 40 of them are completely direct of these spin-offs. People are working on that spin-offs created in our program. And of course, these 14 startups are divided in different sectors. We have also some startups in health, which are the ones that they are going to pitch today, and a bunch of technologies. It is typical new technologies like AI, blockchain, AI, new devices, VR. So we are going also introducing 5G and new materials, which is also interesting. So, but today we are going to talk about health. We are not doing this alone because we don't have the knowledge of all the markets. So we are going close to the market, supported by these partners of different industries. For example, in health, we have Novartis, we have FRA, we have Uriac, we have Stereotigin, and some others that they don't appear here, like Kiesi, for example. So they tell us what are the challenges of the industry and what they're looking for, and also they help the technologies to validate if they are going to work in the real market or not. So they are in the whole process from the beginning until the end. So that's important that the scientists at the beginning and the startups later, they are always in permanent contact with the industry. And this is basically our portfolio. Today we have three main sectors, and today we are going to be focusing in health, obviously. And these are the four startups that they are going to pitch right now. So I'm not going to consume more time and just give the mic to the first startup, who will be Reo DX. I will stop sharing my computer, and Maria, I think, is the one who is going to pitch, and you can start sharing the computer.
Yes, thank you for the introduction, David.
And yeah, once you have it.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, perfectly. So yeah, the stage is yours, Maria.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. Well, at Reo Diagnostics, we want to make hematological diagnostic available for anyone, anywhere, anytime. The needs we are mainly addressing are related to therapeutics in the ecosystem of transfusions and to diagnostic. Every year, more than 100 million blood bags are transfused in the world, and many studies show that 20% of these transfusions are not needed. This supposes an overspending cost of $4 billion a year to the health system. But it's not only about money. This overprescription produces some risk to the patient. At Reo Diagnostics, we want to give a new metric to the doctor to evaluate the patient state, the blood need, or the transfusion efficiency, with a test that lasts less than 5 minutes and use a single drop of blood, also with a portable and affordable device without sample treatment. Summarizing, with Reo Diagnostics, the 20% of transfusions can be saved, which lead to an improvement in the patient quality of life and a reduction in the healthcare system expenses. The technology is composed by three elements. First, a single-use microfluidic consumable. Second, the radar device. And third, the cloud, where the mathematical models are placed and the measurements are transformed into clinical evidences. This technology was born at the university, was patented 4 years ago. Reo Diagnostics as a company was born 2 years later, and we started working with the first prototype and implementing the mathematical models. During this year, we performed the preclinical validation to have a pre-industrial prototype, and it's expected to have a final product in December 2021. The first indications we address are anemia and transfusion monitoring, but our technology is scalable to a diagnostic of other pathologies such as malignant hemopathies, malaria, polycythemia, platelet disorders, and to any other diseases that affect the characteristics of red blood cells in size, shape, aggregability, like the ones shown here. The competitors that are like our technology are big machines, much more expensive than ours, and the ones that are cheap and portable doesn't give the same clinical evidence as we do. Here, we compare our device with a commercial bicryometer. It can be seen that for a non-Newtonian fluid, as blood, our device, the red spots here, looks more precise and accurate, especially at low shear rates, where the most interesting information is housed. Our business model is based on the consumable and curve analysis service. We can say that it's like an Nespresso business model, where the device price shouldn't be expensive. With this model, we expect to have a profit of €3 for diagnostic. We are a multidisciplinary team with diverse backgrounds in economics, physics, electronics, industrial and biomedical engineering. And this team is complemented with an advisory board in physics and advice in medical part, and the help from our funding partners, El Centre de Recerca Matemàtica and the Mobile World Capital, and other supporting partners also. What we need to jump to the market is less than €1 million, which will be distributed between qualified staff salaries, equipment and consumables prototyping, the development and structure of machine learning and the cloud, improve the process or to explore new opportunities, and the regulatory part with certification and clinical validation, and last, the transfer to manufacture and mass production of devices and consumables to reach the market. Well, this is all. Thanks for your attention, and for more information, do not hesitate in contacting me in this email here or look for us in the networking.
Thank you, Maria. That was short and clear. I don't know if there's any question from the audience or for the rest of the startups. Any detail? Okay. And or
well, if not, you can look for us in LinkedIn or somewhere and ask it later.
Yeah, so. Sure. So in our website in Collider, there is the portfolio section. There's all the content there. Okay, great. Then we will jump. Thank you, Maria. We will jump to the next startups. This is Pharmacelera, and Enrique is ready there just to show you the screen.
Sure. Let me just give me a sec here. Okay, I'm in presentation mode now, and I should be start. So do you see my screen, the presentation?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, great. So first of all, thank you for Barcelona Health Hub, the Barcelona Mobile World Capital, for allowing us to present our project in this forum. Okay, my name is Enrique Givert, and I am the CEO of Pharmacelera. So let me start this presentation by asking two philosophical questions. Do you want to live longer? Do you want to live better? I think that the obvious answer is yes. But how are we supposed to do that? How are we supposed to achieve that? In an aged society in which the incidence of chronic diseases is constantly increasing, if we are still very inefficient at developing new therapeutic solutions for unmet medical needs. Drug discovery projects fail with a ratio of 96%, and the amount of approved drugs for every billion that is spent on R&D is in constant decline. There are many factors that contribute to this low R&D productivity of the pharmaceutical industry, but in early stages, or from a chemical perspective, there are mainly two challenges. First, there is a narrow view of the molecules at each of the different development stages. And second, we have only explored a tiny part of the chemical space. In other words, the low-hanging fruit has already been collected. At Pharmacelera, we propose a lean drug discovery model in which more resources are spent in the initial stages of drug development that are agile and cheap, and where computers are used to model chemistry and biology. In these initial stages, we propose to use accurate algorithms to have a holistic view of the entire drug discovery process and mining a richer and larger chemical space. This will enable to do at these initial stages more and better predict, test, and learn cycles, failing fast if necessary, but feeding subsequent drug development stages that are expensive, long, and where most projects fail today with molecules that have higher chances to become a drug. In particular, to do so, we are developing the best computational platform to design molecules that are uncovered, unexploited by current state-of-the-art methodologies. The platform is based on three technology pillars. First, accurate quantum mechanics algorithms that describe nature at a fine level of detail. Second, by machine learning, by simultaneously predicting key molecular properties in different drug development stages. And last, by using high-performance computing in order to explore this larger and richer chemical space. This platform will reduce the drug development cost by 25%. It will boost success rates by 2x, saving up to 500 million per approved drug. Our technology and our business model has been validated by several aspects. First, by a growing market with strong needs of new deep technologies such as ours. In the last 3 or 4 years, there have been 5 or 6 companies in the field of deep physics, quantum mechanics, okay, accurate algorithms, and artificial intelligence or machine learning in order to speed up drug discovery processes. We are also formed by a top-notch multidisciplinary team covering the different aspects of the business. We have also been validated by having already users and customers of our technology, of our platform, okay, including 2 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies. And last but not least, as a results-oriented company, we are doing extensive benchmarking, extensive comparisons, showing that our models are able to design molecules that are 3 times better than the current state of the art. At Pharmacelera, we are at an inflection growth point. We have been recently awarded an EIC Accelerator grant of 1 million euros, non-dilutive, okay? And we're looking for a 1.5 million in exchange of equity to speed up our go-to-market strategy with a special focus in the US. We already have customers in the US, Switzerland, UK, Italy, and France. The exit strategy for the current investors and for future investors is to sell the company to a big player. As of today, a big player is either a big contract research organization, Pushy Aptec, Eurofins, Evotec, a big computer-aided drug design company like Schrödinger or DS Biovia, or a big technology company who are paying special attention now to digital health and life sciences in general. In fact, we have already been approached by one of our direct competitors proposing the merge of the 2 companies. So let me finish this with another philosophical question. Do you want to join us? I hope that the obvious answer is yes. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Enrique, for the presentation. Yeah, really good. I don't know if it's the first question of the last question. It's better. Well, is there any question from the audience? I can see here an old friend, Jordi. If not, of course, here you have the email, contact@pharmacelera.com.
Sure.
And yeah, Enrique will answer everything. So in the working platform, and we will jump to the next startups. This is Exeus, and here Paul is representing it.
Hello, everybody.
Paul, you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I will share it. Just a second. Okay, I think it's already done. Can you see my screen?
The way, yes. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you, because it's a pleasure to stay here, and let's start with Exeus' presentation. As you know, our DNA is a library with 22,000 books, that it equals to the genes that we have inside. And currently in the market, there is a lot of DNA analysis or DNA tests that analyze this whole library. It's like a library overview, having information about all the books. But in our case, in Exeus' case, we are analyzing the RNA, that is the gene expression analysis, that it's equals to the book discovery, analyzing each book, understanding all the information inside, because these books or genes are expressed. And are expressed every time that we train, for example, when we are running a marathon or when we are doing CrossFit exercises. Our genes are expressed every time that we eat, because it's not the same if we are following a fast food diet or if we are following a healthy diet. Our genes also are expressed every time that we are getting older, and also when we are getting injured. For example, when we have a muscular injury or a tendinopathy. So let's imagine for a few seconds, what if we have all the information of our gene expression in our database in each specific circumstances of our life? In Exeus, we have developed the world's most advanced health report based on the analysis of the gene expression and also with artificial intelligence. But let's try to understand a little bit how it works. First, we have to do a blood extraction in one of our specialized centers for the analysis, but we are working in a new methodology, and we will do this extraction on the finger prick. So it will be easier also for our customers. The user experience will be better, and also we will reduce drastically our costs. After that, we have to do a gene expression analysis. This we work with sequencing our RNA, and after that, we are using our artificial intelligence in order to create our personalized report. So let's understand a little bit how it works or how it is, this report, because here we have a sample report. So let's check the first part, that is the carbohydrate metabolism, that is one of the pathways, that is like a cluster of genes. And we can see that it's really altered, that it's this red flag or a red dot. So here we have to do something, or we have to implement something to put this dot inside the normality. As, for example, indeed of this one, the lipid metabolism, it's inside the normality. There is no alterations in this part. So after having all the information on all of these results, these general results, we have our personalized recommendations. And here we can see, for example, that you have to increase your weekly carbohydrate dose, you have to do some more sports, and you have to do some implementations in order to be healthy and have a good diet and all of that. So Exeus, it's really useful for optimize your nutrition, to improve your health status, to reduce injuries, and also to slow down aging. This is one of the biggest trends over the world nowadays. It's the trend of longevity, and we are following it. We have developed our e-commerce platform, so now it's already done. We will start commercializing the first month of the next year. And also we have a good network of prescribers, so we will start our marketing online campaigns, and also we will commercialize with these prescribers that we have. Because our goal is to be the unicorn company of transcriptomics. As we know, there is a lot of companies that are based on DNA, and they are creating a huge databases based on DNA also. For example, the last company that have sold their database was Ancestry. It was an acquisition for 4.7 billion euros from Blackstone. And of course, we have a lot of key opinion leaders inside the team. For example, José Manuel Soria or Alexandre Parera. They are experts in artificial intelligence and also in genomics. And also Emma Roca, for example, that she is a biochemist and ultra-elite endurance athlete. And also, despite the team, also we have good letters of interest, for example, from Kilian Jornet, from Luis Enrique. So all these influencers will help us to achieve all our goals, all our milestones, in order to start commercializing correctly our solution and to start implementing and democratizing all the transcriptomic world. So that's all. Thank you for all. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask.
Thank you, Paul, for the presentation. I'm just checking if somebody has questions. If not, again, you can contact Paul and Excel through the networking platform in Barcelona Health Hub, or just find them on website or ask us in Collider, so we can give a lot of details. And then we will jump to the last but not least, the startup in our portfolio in the health sector, which is MentalHR. Luis is with us.
Hello.
Share your screen.
Yes. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity of presenting here. I'm Luis Castillo. I'm founder and CEO of MentalHR. In MentalHR, we are experts on diagnosis and treatment of neurocognitive disorders in children. And it all started with a family mother. I mean, my cousin was adopted from Russia, and my uncle soon realized that she was not normal, unfortunately. After several checks, they realized that she was affected with FASD, is fetal alcohol disorder spectrum. And the problem with that is it's a lifetime disease with no cure, and the worst part is that there was no diagnosis or treatment for that. Then we realized that this syndrome, this neurocognitive disorder, shared some basis with other neurocognitive disorders as well, like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, behavioral disorder, or even the autism. We're speaking about 19% global prevalence, children and adults for alive, which coincides with the global goal for the 2030 agenda with the objective 3 of wellness. All of them, unfortunately, share the same problems like impulse control, working memory, abstraction capacity, adaptation skills, reasoning, or even IQ. So we decided to move forward and create the first diagnosis tool in the world for FASD. When we speak about diagnosis, we are speaking about 100% reliability in the diagnostics. So they are performed using artificial intelligence and deep learning, using 3D vision for creating a smart deep learning algorithms with machine learning decision network. So we have achieved more than 600 validations, and we are speaking about a medical grade tool for diagnosing FASD. We have tested that in different continents with with mixed races, and it's working pretty well. And we are very proud to give to the society a tool for creating accurate diagnostics. Once we achieved the diagnostic and we were able to say which kind of neurocognitive disorder was happening in the person, we moved another step beyond and created the first treatment for this kind of neurological disorders. We are speaking about a treatment which is running in immersive virtual reality. That means it's not only visuals, but the sense of touch, which creates a new kind of metrics in order to create adherence in the patient. As soon as we start measuring the behavioral treatment for every patient, we start adapting the experience just to create the adherence, which is very important to create a neurological change into the children. We are proud of filling the gap for neurocognitive disorders. As you might imagine, there are a lot of players outside in the market, but they are very focused on phobias or anxiety disorders. We are the only player for neurocognitive disorder with expertise of our magnificent scientific team. Our business model is based on creating prescription with a diagnosis using visual fast tool running by the medical doctors or pediatricians, and then to run the treatment under the psychological centers and professional with the SaaS model. Of course, we are thinking about global distribution using health marketplaces or industrial partners as well. Our team is composed by mainly by the scientific Oscar Garcia, which runs and leads the part for neonatology and pediatricians in clinics Barcelona. Also for the association part with families with which share all that neurocognitive syndromes, Jacinto Castillo for European FASD Alliance, and myself with who has a lot of experience in deep technology and creating technology products to bring them to market. We are running now success stories with clinical validation and pilots for diagnosis and treatment. Next year, we plan to establish the commercialization for the treatment tool and the spread for the diagnosis one. And finally, in 2022, we need to grow and we will looking for our Series A. Right now, what we are looking for are for pilots for the diagnosis and treatment part, looking for pre-seed 500,000 for the next year, and of course for partnerships for commercialization of the diagnosis and the treatment tool. There you have our email. Please be my guest for contacting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis, for the presentation. I'm just checking if there is anybody who has any question for Luis and Mental XR. If not, we will end up this demo day of the startups of the portfolio of the Collider in the health sector. Thank you all for attending, and especially the startups, all the startups for giving support to the other startups as well, and staying until the end of the session. You will have, all the attendees will have this recording check later in the platform. and I recommend you as well to go into networking and check if there is any profile interesting for you, because I was there and I received a lot of messages. So, I mean, people are quite active doing networking there. So this is my recommendation as well. Okay, thank you, and hope to see you again in the office. Maybe not this year, but next year, but hopefully soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, David.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Congrats.
It's really a pleasure to share with you what we do in Mobile World Capital, and more related to the context of this forum these days. We want to share with you the big opportunity that offers if you build disruptive solutions from technology possibilities. Something is called deep tech, and we have large experience on that. And our session today, we will share with you some examples on the big opportunity you have there. First of all, I want to share with you that this is something that is not an isolated program. It happens inside Mobile World Capital. Mobile World Capital Foundation is a vehicle and a tool that we create 8 years ago to take advantage of a big asset. It was Mobile World Congress. You can imagine 8 years ago was not as mature and as sexy as it is today. But let me, perhaps it's not the best year to talk about Mobile World Congress, traditional events. But at the end, let me share with you that 8 years ago, we were very convinced that we had a big event that set Barcelona as the Mobile World Capital during 3 days of all the news of the industry. And during these 3 days happened a lot of things. And this big event not only happens in Barcelona, it happens at the same time in Shanghai, Los Angeles. But Barcelona is several times bigger than the other cities worldwide. And there's a big opportunity to take advantage of this point of contact to generate richness in our ecosystem. And afterwards is the reason why we decided, Karina, please go ahead with the next slide. We decided with Spanish and Catalan government and several corporates, let me remark, the owner of the big event is called GSMA, the Global Operators Association, the global telcos, that helps us to bring this global coverage to all the activities that we push from Mobile World Capital Foundation. We agreed that was the right moment to join forces to help in this digital transformation, something that is really, it's not a trend, it's a reality in our life. Our world is digital. And more in this current COVID context that I'm going to go deeper in a while, okay? That in that period of time, we thought it was quite interesting to join forces to generate richness in our ecosystem and make a big vision and mission to create a legacy, taking advantage of this big event where Barcelona is sexy, it's working worldwide in the innovation ecosystem, is working, connecting with other very sexy and popular cities worldwide with innovation. Our main objective was to join forces to drive the digital progress in this community, to improve people's life or quality of life. In this case, let me share with you that current context has accelerated, COVID has accelerated a new paradigm in economy, a new paradigm in industry. We are moving forward to a new society which has 3 levers: connected talent, collaboration, and innovation. These sectors that are more digitized are the sectors that are suffering less in this COVID crisis. And on the other hand, other sectors that are more digitized, they are not only suffering less, they're taking advantage. And this is what we are pushing in Mobile World Capital initiatives. We are working in 4 programs to create the conditions of this new opportunity that is the current context, to help our industry to be more competitive in a global context, that they are forced to work in a global context now. And on the other hand, to set a new industry based on knowledge, a new industry that will help our industry to be more competitive, a new industry that will help to create quality job offers, and on the other hand, richness in our society. To summarize and afterwards, I will ask, please, Karina, to go deeper in Collider. It's one of the programs that we push in Mobile World Capital Foundation. We are working in 4 different programs. First of all, one program is called Innovation. I'm the Innovation Program Director in Mobile World Capital. Our main objective there is to set advantage to create the right conversations in this global ecosystem beyond the Congress and 4 years from now, between corporates, investors, startups, to help them to innovate, to generate relationships on this Barcelona, Shanghai, Los Angeles. And in addition to that, inside the innovation program, I manage a venture capital where Collider happens, which our main objective is to reduce the gap between the research and the market, helping industry to be more competitive, creating high disruptive and high impactful solutions. They taking advantage of deep tech. This is something that Karina will go in a while, so I will ask her afterwards to explain it better than me. Okay. The second pillar, the second program in Mobile World Capital is technology. We are creating the conditions to convert Barcelona as the right hub, innovation hub, where 5G, that is not only about connectivity in a global society is a must. It's not only, why 5G will provide agility and connectivity to our industry. So in Mobile World Capital, we are leading a European consortium, is 5G, and we are making really, really exciting pilots, creating the conditions to anticipate the service of the future of internet. For example, 2 years ago, with Hospital Clinic in this period of time, we showed to the world that thanks to 5G, one teleoperation could be enabled. We are working with the governments, helping converting ambulance into operating rooms, or some pilots regarding to industry, for zero, rural connectivity, health. So this happens in this technology program. Apart than, of course, leading an European observatory where we share the industry, the best practice, the big opportunities to be more agile using 5G. The third program is called talent. Talent, I'm sure that you're very aware that this is a challenge in our society to involve the right talent to think different and make different. In Europe, we have nearly 12,000 positions, 12,000 positions of new offers around digital positions that we do not have people there really prepared. We need this kind of people in the industry. So we are helping, working in Alliance to reduce the gap, helping corporates in reskilling process on working together to attract, retain, and keep the right talent in the company. And the fourth and the last is one province called society. Our main objective is to be participant and convert Barcelona in the capital of humanism and ethic technology. We are in a new world where rules should be defined around how we take advantage of technology and use technology. There's some topics around privacy, about intimacy, some topics that at the end, more in the health sector, collaboration and merging data experience on our customers, these kind of rules should be defined, addressed. So in Mobile World Capital, we are creating the conditions to create a global think tank called Digital Future Society based in Barcelona, that we will invite once a year very popular people worldwide, from ministers, governments, investors, corporates, to address this kind of rules, defining new regulation, new collaboration, for example, sandbox data to accelerate new concepts and new collaboration between research and the market, and other conditions to define this rule and define some topics that they mentioned in the agenda today, the future of work, the future of education. This is something that we are working today to help creating more and more things in our ecosystem. Mobile World Capital is an instrument, it's a tool. Please, we are very willingness to help every corporates, the governments, investors to take advantage of this new context to make things different and make different. So it's a pleasure to be with you today. And please, I will kindly ask Karina, our business development manager in Collider, and who helps us to manage the right relationship in the Mobile World Capital corporates, to go deeper in what we do Collider. Okay, please, okay. Karina.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. Good morning, everyone. Now, entering into the program. What is the Collider? The Collider is a tech transfer program that selects the best scientific projects from universities and research centers to invest in them by creating companies. Before delving into the program, I ask, what is the reason for creating the program? What is the origin? Spain is in position 12 in the world ranking in terms of scientific production, but is in 42nd position when it comes to converting the scientific projects into companies, into business that reach the market. So what happened with the projects? Where are those projects? The projects are in the drawers of the universities. The vast majority don't get to see the light and remain standing in the universities. This is the reason why Collider was born 4 years ago, and today we have created more than 14 companies. We have a portfolio as Mobile World Capital, as the Collider, of more than 30 companies, and 14 are the result of the Collider program. The tech transfer of science to the market is one of the critical points of the innovative process. The lack of capital due to the high risk of failure and the little coordination between university and the company are some of the main problems that affect this process, the technology transfer process. So now we can see here what is Collider. Collider is, again, an initiative created by the Mobile World Capital to solve this great challenge and turn the best scientific projects into very powerful companies with very disruptive technologies. We are the bridge between science and industry. We connect talent and attract talent, international talent, and we connecting startups with the Mobile World Capital ecosystems. Okay, here we have an overview of the program. And to explain how do we do it. How do we do it? We create multidisciplinary teams with scientists and entrepreneurs with international experience, and investing to create deep tech companies. We are going to see now here in this slide an overview of the stage of the program. The program starts with a challenge definition session. Is the number one challenge definition. First of all, we sit down with corporations close to us, and together we define the most important challenge in each sector. We are talking about 5 verticals. One of them, the first, is digital health. It's one of the most important verticals that we have. 50% of the technologies that we receive are from health. The second is energy, third industry, mobility, and digital food. Digital food will be implemented in the next edition that will start at the end of the year, on December, as a vertical that covers from farm to fork, health prevention, biogenetics, climate change, last mile, cold chain, etc. Many tips that will be of great value for corporations. So in this stage, we select the main challenge that will be the basis of the call for technologies that takes of which we dedicate about 2 months of time, is the second. We received more than 300 projects, and after an accurate selection, we have the 15 finalist projects that will be part of the edition. Okay, the third, number 3, opportunity validation. In this stage, we're together with corporations, we decide which technologies will go to the next level of the program. When projects carry out a first level of validation of the technology, checking whether it does what it says it does, or can even be extended to other sectors. It's a first level of verification. Talent scouting stage is the 4th level of the program. In this stage, we select the best entrepreneurs with an international profile and experience. A CEO and COO who will be form one team together with one scientist. With the scientists. We usually receive requests from more than 30 countries. Thus, we will have teams of 3, 1 scientist and 2 entrepreneurs who will be in charge of taking the project to a new status where the technology and business model are validated. The use cases are defined and at least 2 pilots are sought with the corporation. Emphasize that we are looking for an entrepreneur's profiles with a great international experience in the creation of companies as well as an experience in raising capital. Business validation is the 5th stage of the program. This period lasts for 3 months, and it's where the teams validate the technologies, define the use cases, and prepare to carry out the pilots, which is the way that we recognize as the best way to reach the market in an efficient way. A spin-off as the number 6 stage of the program. After the business validation, we have an investment committee of which corporations are also part, and that decides which projects have passed all validation and in which Mobile World Capital will invest to turn them into a new startup. And last, the readiness to scale. Once the company are created, the Collider accompanies them to the market and in the first investment rounds. Okay, the next here we have a slide with the KPIs of the last 4 editions. We trained 157 scientists. We work with 62 research centers. We created new jobs. We created 39 direct jobs. In total, 63 jobs created. We create 14 spin-off, and with direct investment of $500,000 and capital raised of more than $5 million, euros, sorry. Okay, here we have a slide with the challenge definition, only to show you with which corporations we are working. We work with more than 60 companies. You can see here companies like CaixaBank, DAM, Coca-Cola, Enel, Endesa, Novartis, so on. So this is an example of companies. Call for text, we are looking for technologies like IoT, artificial intelligence, blockchains, new materials, 5G, and the sectors that I said, health, energy, industry, mobility, and digital food.